Hi, in this lecture we are going to talk about how developers can create a secure session management. Uh, Most of the techniques I mentioned earlier. However, it makes sense to go through them once more. So first, you need to start by creating a secure session token. Secure token. So how to do that? The key aspect of secure session token is that it cannot be guessed or brute forced. So to do that, the token has to be long enough and really truly random. So it has to be random and long. And as random, it can be a UUID. So any other way than generating a truly random number or using a UUID is wrong. People tried with various ways like incremental numbers or base 64 encoded username and login time or something like that, or even hashed username and login time together. But in all of these cases, this can be only secure as long as the attacker figures out how the data was generated. When the attacker figures out how the session IDs are created, he can create whatever session ID he wants, and by that hijack anybody's session. So the key is randomness. You also have to protect the session ID because if it gets stolen, then the attacker can hijack the user session. So the third point is token protection. To do that, there are a few things you can do. First of all, never transfer the token in the URL. Never in URL. Because URLs are not considered confidential. So it's not guaranteed that any other software on the way to the server is going to handle your URL confidential. It's going to be logged in your browser, it's going to be logged on the web server, it's going to be logged on firewalls, it's going to be logged on load balancers, whatever. So just never send the token in the URL. You can also apply various cookie flags to protect the session ID if it's in the cookie. So cookie flags, such as the HTTP only, which tells the browser that this cookie is not supposed to be accessed by JavaScript. It's only supposed to be accessed by the browser to attach it to a request. And the other is the secure flag, which tells the browser that these cookies only supposed to send if the connection is encrypted. So basically, if it's sent through HTTPS. So the second point is making sure that the session handling is secure. So secure session handling. This means basically two things. Make sure that the session token is always regenerated when you log in and when you log out. So new token at login, logout. And the other is make sure that the old session ID and the old session is destroyed when the user logs in and logs out. In both cases, that's very important. Old session is destroyed. Also make sure that the session is destroyed both on the client side and on the server side. The third point is to implement a reasonable session timeout. 3 timeout. This basically means that the user will be automatically logged out if he's idle for some time. Of course, the length of the timeout really depends on the application. There are applications where what you don't use all the time, you just log in, you do one thing, and then you leave it there. In these cases, the timeout can be short. If there are applications where the user works for a long time, then you might think about lengthening the timeout. If for some reason you cannot allow the user to be kicked in because that's not your business goal, like Facebook, then you have to make sure that the session token is regenerated time to time and replaced in the browser as well. By that, making sure that if it gets stolen, it cannot be used for a long time. If the developers follow your suggestions, then it's not impossible to make a secure session handling. And with that, we are concluded our section on session management and attacks against the session. So stop a little bit, think about what we learned, go through all the things again, just to make sure that you are understanding everything. And when you're finished, then I will see you in the next section. Bye.